Howdy, everybody. What's going on? Oh my god, Pariah was 2 minutes late again. It's over. Talking about Disneyland in the chat? You were sitting for like 2 hours? I mean, that was on you. It said what time the stream was gonna be. You don't have to sit there and wait for it, you know? What's up, people? Wanted to stream today, but I couldn't think of what to do. So I was just like, we'll just talk. We'll just hang out and talk for a bit, and that'll be the stream. That's fine. I'm fine with that. By the way, I should mention the footage I'm showing here. This is a really cool mod for Sonic Frontiers. It's in my spreadsheet, of course, called Island Rush. It takes the Battle Rush mode that no one wants to do because this game's combat is bad, and it replaces it with, like, all of the more intricate platforming challenges from Sonic Frontiers, like for the special Cocos and the tower climbs and stuff, and those couple of, like, bigger linear platforming sequences that you find. Oh, can I make it louder? Yeah, sure, sorry. How's that? That good? And you just, puts them all together in, like, one big sequence for you to do, so you can play, like, the best parts of Frontiers Open Zone without playing all of the, like, crap of it. This is a really cool mod. I definitely recommend it. How often do I play Sonic games casually? I don't really, honestly. Like, I don't go back to games super frequently. It's only been that I've been playing a lot of Sonic games for videos and stuff the past couple years, but when I'm done talking about Sonic games, I'm probably not going to play a Sonic game until Shadow Gens comes out, and then after that, I don't know how long it's going to be. Probably until the next game comes out, honestly. Am I into Ratchet & Clank, and if so, what's my favorite? Yeah, I like the Ratchet games. My favorite one, it's a toss-up between either 3 or Crack in Time. I have not played Into the Nexus yet. Or not Into the Nexus, I have played that one. I haven't played... What's the new one? Rift Apart, that one. Do I play fighting games like Smash Bros? I play fighting games, and I play fighting games like Smash Bros. I was recently playing some Street Fighter 6 with my friends. Picked up Lily not too long ago. Haven't played Smash in a while, but I went to a friend's and we did some matches. It's a fun game. The online is fucking terrible, but I'm looking forward to Rivals 2. Rivals of Aether is really cool and underrated. Definitely play those games. They're cool platform fighters. Am I getting burned out from Sonic? I've been burned out from Sonic for a while. How do I feel about platform fighters? I already talked about them just a bit there. They're cool. I like them. They're, like, the only other, like, major subgenre of fighting games besides, you know, your traditional 2D fighters and your traditional 3D fighters. Platform fighters is the only other one you got. Will I be picking up the MVC collection? Probably not. I'm not a huge fan of Marvel vs. Capcom. I don't generally like fighting games that are super duper ultra combo heavy. Because combos are not the fun part of fighting games to me. Fighting a player is the fun part for me. What do I plan to talk about after Sonic? I'm gonna be talking about, I'm not doing another, like, big series that I plan to cover, at least not for a while. I might go back to Zelda a bit, we'll see. But what I want to do is kind of... The direction I want to push my channel is into kind of a curation channel, because there are so many games out there. There's too many games. How you ever gonna sift through all these games and find the good ones? And I kind of want that to be what I do with my channel. Where I highlight cool games that might pass you by, or that are underrated, or people don't know about very much, or people don't talk about enough, or I feel haven't gotten the respect they deserve. And just, you know, kind of try to signal boost cool games that I'm like, yo, check out this game, it's awesome. Have I heard about the Link's Awakening PC port? No. Is that a thing? That's cool. Will I be getting Dragon Ball Sparking Zero? No. I don't care about Dragon Ball. Want to talk about TV show and movies on my channel? It's difficult to do that because, like, once you get in your YouTube pigeonhole, it's, like, impossible to get out. It's already difficult enough to get people to watch non-Sonic stuff. So non-video game stuff would be very hard, but I actually did have an idea, and I wanted to actually ask you all about, this to see how you would feel about it. I was thinking about, like, maybe once every 2 weeks or once every month, something like that, we have a stream that's kind of like a pariah book club, but not just books. It could be for anything. It could be for a game or a book or a comic or a movie, whatever. So we say, you know, we're all gonna check that out, and then by the date of the stream, and then we all come here and we just chat about it. Because I like to, you know, talk with my friends and stuff after I, like, watch a good show or whatever. But when I come here and we talk about stuff, it's just like, hey, I watched this thing. Does anybody has ever heard of this? Has anyone watched it? No? Like, I just started watching Hilda on Netflix, which is a really good cartoon. I've been liking it so far. And everyone's like, and most people here are probably like, what's that? I've never heard of it. And like 2 people are like, oh yeah, Hilda was good. So I feel like if we do a thing where everyone's on the same page, and we could all have a discussion about something, then it's kind of like a mix of like review, but also just like chatting. It could be a cool thing, so I might want to try that at some point. That kind of idea sounds perfect for a Discord server. Yeah, you're right, but I don't want to run a Discord server. Okay, so there are some people in here that have seen Hilda. Yeah, Hilda is good. For a long time, I've been like, what the hell do kids watch? There's like no cartoons anymore. But that came out, and that is a solid cartoon. Like, it definitely has like some kid show elements in there that I can't super say that I like love it, but as a kid show, I think it's so good, and like I would love it if I was a kid, I'm sure. Or maybe not, because I was fucking stupid as a kid. What's Hilda about? It's about a little girl who goes on adventures. She lives in a world filled with, like, magical creatures and mystical elements and stuff like that, and it's, like, known and just part of the world. And she just explores her little town and gets involved in weird happenings, and it's fun. Also, watching it after reading the fucking Sonic comics, honestly, my standards have dropped so low that I was like, oh my god, everything that happens in an episode matters to the story. She's just a girl who loves adventure. It's true. That is true. One of my favorite fighting game characters, let's see, my mains are, I play Fulgor in Killer Instinct, I play Leo in Guilty Gear, who do I main in Street Fighter? Well, in Street Fighter 6 so far, I've been maining Guile and Lily. In Street Fighter 5, who did I main in that game? I had a bunch of characters I played. Who was my main? Oh yeah, I mained Mika, Rainbow Mika. Who the hell else do I play? My main in Smash is Terry. That's most of the fighting games that I've, like, really played and put time into. My main in, Skullgirls is Big Band. You need to see the comics video ASAP? Well, Little Big Wave. Perhaps if you go to my Patreon or Coffee, you could see it right now if you wanted to. And perhaps after this stream, I'm gonna put it up. Perhaps. Maybe. Who knows? God, I'm sorry that I'm not responding to so much of chat. There's a lot of people in here, and there's a lot of shit flying through. How did I discover the Sonic comics? By being a Sonic fan my entire life? Who do I think is a better character, Shadow or Vegeta? I'm not too knowledgeable about, like, later Dragon Ball stuff, like Super, so I don't know how badly they fuck up Vegeta. But I'll say I like Shadow more. I see Frankie Hedgehog has been watching the video. I am very certain that this video is gonna lead to some blasting of me on social media. But it's inevitable. It's gonna happen. Whatever. Have I read the Archie comics? Not a lot. I honestly don't really have much interest in them. Thoughts on the Sonic Adventures Spider Lady? I don't really care. Ever play any Souls games? I've played every Souls game. I like them. They're fantastic. Elden Ring is actually my least favorite besides Dark Souls 2. I got a lot of problems with Elden Ring. Haven't played the DLC yet, but I plan to. Thoughts on Steven Universe? Have not watched it. Favorite Spider-Man stories? Well, just my favorite iterations of Spider-Man are the Sam Raimi movies, the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon, and I like the Spider-Verse movies. And even the Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man movies, they're fine too. I like them. The third one, less so. It's not as good. The second one is my favorite of the MCU ones. Any other Sonic rewrites I would like to do or do a stream about? Yeah. I am planning to do a Dream Team rewrite, actually. Because that game annoys me, because it has the premise and the setup for a good quality Sonic story, but then it was written by Ian Flynn, so that means nothing happens. And I just want to make a video of, like, look at how little needs to be changed to turn this into a great little Sonic story. Best fighting game, in my opinion? Well, my personal favorite is Killer Instinct. It's the game I got into fighting games with, and I love the combo system, and I love all the crazy-ass weird characters and what they can do in that game. It is a very off-the-rails fighting game, and if you know me, you know that I like games that are off-the-rails. Have I played The Big Catch? I have not, but I have, I've seen it, and it looks fucking sick. I will definitely be playing that when it comes out. Have I noticed how REM resembles a Knight's character? Well, yeah, obviously. I'd imagine that was partially intentional. Thoughts on Yakuza? Only played Yakuza 0. Loved it. Definitely want to play more, just haven't had time. Do I think Ian understands Sonic but wants to do his own thing or simply doesn't understand it? I don't know. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he just wants to do his own thing. But sometimes some of the things I've seen him say in interviews make it seem like he doesn't understand. But he must understand. He's not an idiot. I think. No, that was mean. Do I like Multiverses? Haven't played it. Doesn't look particularly great, honestly. Which is worse, Dark Souls 2 or Devil May Cry 2? I've actually never played Devil May Cry 2. I don't really want to. How much do I think is on Ian/Sega's blame? Well, to spoil a bit of the comic video, Scrapnik Island is great. So, what does that say? Thoughts on Dungeon Meshi? Haven't seen it. Look, if there's a lot of questions here about have I seen this, the answer is probably gonna be no, unless it's from like 10 years ago, and then maybe. Little Big Wave, I'm right there with you. A lot of people were like campaigning for like Ian when the IDW switch happened. They're like, get Ian to do it, and then people were like, get Ian to write the comics. Can we start a campaign to get Daniel Barnes more involved in Sonic? I would love for him to become the writer of the games. Have I read Evan Stanley fan comic Ghost of the Future? I have not. Comes off that he's never taken a writing class, and it shows. Well, to be fair, Gesekai, I've never taken a writing class either. Well, actually, that's not true. I did take a writing class, but well after I was writing. I took a writing class, probably like 6 years into my writing journey, so I had a lot of, like, ground knowledge already, but I did learn some stuff from that class. It was useful. There's been a 10th anniversary of Freedom Planet, just letting me know. Oh, shit, really? Damn. Oh, yeah, that game came out in 2014. Holy shit. That's the next game up on my list of games to play for videos, because I have all the footage I need for Frontiers, as you can see. And I got all the footage I need for fan games, so next is Sonic-like games. Is Sonic a good YouTube niche? Well, it's what got me views, but some of the people can be pretty weird. And I would say generally you don't want to put yourself in too much of a niche, because then that limits you too much, unless you really think that you can talk about one thing for years and years and years, but I certainly can't. Is it okay to say that my videos put you to sleep? Wow, they're that engrossing, huh? Thanks. I'm kidding. Yeah, it's fine. What is my favorite Western TV show? My favorite live-action show, well, separated live-action and animated. Live-action show is Twin Peaks. Love Twin Peaks. I mean, most of Season 2 is horrible, as anyone who's watched Twin Peaks will know, but the rest of it is great. Favorite animated show is Avatar: The Last Airbender. That shouldn't be surprising. What do I think of Toy Story 5 coming out? I don't care. Toy Story 4 sucked. And Toy Story 3 also sucked, except for the ending. Everyone has a different idea of what Sonic is. Ian's doing things by his idea of Sonic, and I'm doing by mine. I'm doing by the Sonic from the games. The Sonic made by the people who made Sonic. Toy Story 3 was peak. Toy Story 3 is good at the beginning and at the ending. That is everything that movie has a value. All the middle stuff where they're at the fucking daycare with the bear villain, all that shit sucks. All that shit is junk. That's the most normal Pariah thing, though, having hot takes. Apparently. They don't seem strange to me. Am I aware of British Sonic? Yes. I don't really know very much about it, because I've never read any of those comics, but I know that it exists. I don't think Lotso is a good... What is Lotso? I don't know what that is. Thoughts on how Sonic is written in Scrapnica and how would I tweak change? He's less obnoxious and annoying, but still not quite there. I mean, what would I change? I would just, you know, cut out the jokes. That's really it, honestly. What's the backstory of my YouTube name? It's just my username that I've used forever. I didn't really, like, go into the whole YouTubing thing being like, I'm gonna be YouTube man. I was just making videos, and really that's still what my channel is, which is kind of why I'd like keeping the Pariah 695, because it's just me. But I have been thinking about maybe dropping the 695 for something else. I don't want to be just Pariah, because that's too generic, it'll get lost. But having something to better, like, set the channel apart. But at the same time, I kind of like just being Pariah 695, it's me. I don't know. I also haven't thought of a good thing of, like, what the channel could be. Pariah what? If not, just the 695. Pariah the Hedgehog? Fuck no. Fuck no. Pariah hot takes? My hot takes are only really a thing in Sonic. I don't have that many hot takes. I guess maybe I have some hot takes about games in general. Like how I think most video games are not super well designed. But generally, it's mostly a Sonic thing. Because I have very different views on Sonic than most people. Pariah Epic Gamer 695. That's not bad. That's not bad. Maybe, like, with capital X, lowercase x before it, and then lowercase x, capital X at the end of it. That'd be good, I think. Takashi Iizuka approved of Ian's writing, and he's been working on Sonic the longest out of anyone? Yeah, and Takashi Iizuka is the guy responsible for the Sonic series spiraling out of control. And turning into a mess. Not entirely true, but it's partially true. My Sonic takes are inspiring. Maybe you shouldn't be inspired by me, because people hate you for having your own independent thought. Would I think that dungeons would fit in Sonic Frontiers 2 instead of shrines if were made as a high-speed puzzles? I don't want puzzles in Sonic. Can Sonic be a, like, physics-based, speedy platformer like Sonic is? I would like that. I don't want puzzles, I don't want combat, I want Sonic. Any status on Shadow Apocalypse? So the status on that is, I said we would do another stream working on it some more, but honestly, we've hashed out a lot of the details of it. I don't know if there's a whole lot left to do. So what I've been doing on my own time is kind of writing an outline of how the story would go in a more detailed sense of, like, exactly how the scenes would play out, a little bit of the dialogue. And I was thinking maybe I could write that up, like, beginning to end, and then we could do a stream of, like, a Shadow Apocalypse read-along, where we go through the full story. That might be cool. That might be fun. If anyone wants to submit fan art for that, please do. Shadow Apocalypse, pitch it to Ian Flynn. Shadow Apocalypse would never, ever, in a trillion years, be approved by Sega, because it breaks all the rules. We don't know how much was Takashi Iizuka's choices or Sega. Actually, recently, Iizuka had an interview where he talked about how throughout a lot of Sonic's life and his time working on Sonic, that Sega was very hands-off and everyone was just doing whatever they wanted. So we actually do know, which is what I always suspected. What is my favorite Sonic stage of all time? Jesus Christ. How am I supposed to pick that? There's like literally hundreds and hundreds of levels. Do I think an excellent 3D Sonic game can sell well, like 10 million? See, here's the thing, and here's the sad thing about video games. Being good doesn't get you sales. Being spectacular does not get you sales. Really, what video game players are excited about is, does the game look cool? Does it have fancy visuals? Does it have a good enough story? Not even good story, a good enough story? Is it cinematic or whatever? And is it, like, new and exciting enough? So what I think what would really be, like, the thing to make, like, a big, really good-selling Sonic game is that you'd have to have a trailer that you show off, and the game looks fucking amazing. It would have to be, you know, like a Mario Odyssey, where they first show off that game, and you're like, hot damn, look at that video game. You know? It would have to be that kind of thing. The good stories in question aren't even that good. Yeah, I was thinking about something recently, partially spurred by reading all these Sonic comics lately. There's been a lot of stuff lately that's been really bad. Like, maybe some people are going to disagree with me on this, but I recently watched the Castlevania Netflix show. I watched the first 2 seasons of it, and I thought it was awful. I thought it was really badly written in numerous ways, actually fairly similar to the Sonic comics. And then you also have stuff like, I don't know, that Star Wars Acolyte show that's out right now, and, like, all this stuff coming out that's, like, just so bad. And I'm thinking, you know, the entertainment industry has exploded in, like, the last 20 years, and you know, there might not be enough talented writers to work on all these projects, so I think a lot of projects have to settle for writers that they can get. Maybe. So you're getting a lot of stuff that's like high budget, high production value, and it's just like junk. And it just makes me wonder, like, the people working on these projects that have to animate and bring these bad stories to life, do they, like, work on these projects going like, man, this is bad. But we gotta make it. This is a really weird place we're in. How's my Riders video? You're interested in my rewrite? Well, it's not a rewrite. It's a fully original Sonic Riders story. I plan to do that soon, but the next video I want to do is Frontiers. I guess the next videos are going to be Frontiers. And then probably Sonic X after that. And then I'll do the Riders story, I think. Do I like the Rayman franchise? Yeah, I like all the Rayman games. The, like, main ones. Oh yeah, someone asked, what is this mod? This is Island Rush, which takes all the, like, bigger, longer, more elaborate platforming sequences of the open zone and turns them into, like, a big old gauntlet that you play through all in one go. It's cool. Lets you play the best parts of open zone without any of the crap. Where am I at in the Sonic comics? Have I finished the Archie ones? Well, I was never planning to read all of Archie. That was never going to happen. I'm pretty close to caught up on IDW, but I also skipped a bunch of shit because I don't care. And I'm done, so I'm not going to be catching up entirely. I'm not reading any more of that shit. Do I think Shadow Gens in Movie 3 will be successful? I think that Shadow Gens will do alright, but I don't think that it's gonna sell amazingly well, because ultimately it is mostly a Sonic Generations remaster. And, you know, that's cool and all, but even Sonic fans aren't excited for that. We already have Sonic Generations as it is. We don't need to play a borked remaster of it. All we care about is Shadow Generations. But for general audiences, they're not gonna care about that nearly as much, because it's probably gonna be like a 3-hour little side game. So for them, most of it is a Sonic Generations remaster, and Sonic Generations is beloved amongst the Sonic community, but outside of that, it doesn't really have, like, this reputation as a legendary game. So I don't think that a lot of non-Sonic fans are, like, super-duper excited for it. So I imagine it would sell okay, but not great. Movie 3, I don't know. On one hand, the Sonic movies did very well, but on the other hand, these days, blockbusters have been flopping left and right, so we will see. You sure the game will be fine? I think it'll sell, you know, well enough. I just don't think it'll be like huge sales for Shadow Generations. People are loving it. That's not gonna happen. What do I think about Shadow with Wings? We'll see what they do with that. I don't know. We're in a pretty miserable time in terms of theatrical films. Well, I saw Longlegs in theaters a couple weeks ago. That was not bad. Didn't love it, but it was okay. And I do want to see Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm interested in that. First time I'll go see a superhero movie in theaters in fucking forever. You look forward to working with me after you learn writing and animating? Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? Never say never. A pariah watching MCU slop? Yeah, occasionally, if they catch my interest. Sorry, Rainyar, ex-Rainoir, but there's a lot of stuff in chat, and I want to, like, you know, engage with the people's questions. I don't want someone to be like, hey, what do you think of this? I like it, next question, you know? I want to be a human being here. So it means I'm going to miss a bunch of stuff. I apologize. Well, I had cheats to the Google Doc. I mean, there's a lot of cheats already included in with a lot of the stuff in there. But probably not explicitly. The point isn't to, like, cheat the game. The point is to make the ideal experience out of the game. At least what I think is the ideal experience. Thoughts on the MonsterVerse? The legendary, like, Godzilla Kong movies? They're fucking terrible. What is the meaning of life? Play Outer Wilds. How's sword training going? I haven't been doing that for quite a while, unfortunately. It's, I just don't have the opportunities, or the time, or the money to do it right now, sadly. I would like to get back to it, but there are many barriers in the way. -1? -1 is great. -1 and Shin Godzilla, excellent movies. But those legendary ones are fucking trash. How do you go about adding a villain to a story? You've been writing a little something something, but you're completely stumped on the scene where you introduce the big bad? I mean, like anything, a villain is a tool for telling your story, so you add a villain when it is necessary to add a villain. As for, like, how you go about doing it, a good adage that, a piece of advice that I got that I quite like is, with any story, you should try to start the story as late as possible. So whatever your bad guy's trying to do, what is the latest piece of their plan that you could introduce them doing where they can still get across what needs to be gotten across? Because you don't need every single little detail up front. You can get that stuff later through back explanation and things. Best physics mod for Frontiers? I don't really like any of them. I just use the default physics. What did I like about Daniel Barnes' writing? I liked that Scrapnik Island felt like a Sonic story, and that it was about something, and that something happened. You plan to write something too, Gabriel? Good luck! Have fun. Writing is a very fun experience. I enjoy it. Where did I learn to write? Well, most of my writing is just completely self-taught. But I took a master class years after I had started writing for some extra stuff. And it helped. It helped me improve. But I'm like 90% just entirely self-taught on writing. You wish you could get into writing? Nothing stops you, Hero Chow. The way I started getting into writing is I was talking with someone, and I was like, yeah, I have ideas for stories, and they're like, why don't you just start writing it? And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll try that. And I literally just loaded up a document and started writing. What stories have I written? I've written a couple of novels and short stories and stuff. Nothing that's been, like, professionally published yet, but one day, hopefully. Entered a couple contests before, haven't won anything, but again, one day, hopefully. I gotta work on my prose. My prose is shit. I gotta really improve that. How it feels to be almost 30, sorry if it's offensive or something. Honestly, it doesn't feel like anything. I just feel like me. If you ever write for IDW, you try to make it to my taste. What do I want in a Sonic story? I mean, if you've watched my videos, you know what I want in a Sonic story. It's all there. It's all in my What Is It About Sonic video. What was the first thing I wrote about? The first thing I wrote was fucking terrible. It was like a 60-page short story. What the hell was it about? It was like a science fiction thing where, yeah, the way in which people engage with stories was completely changed. Instead of reading or watching or anything, you just, like, get the information directly beamed into your mind as if, like, you experienced the story, but you didn't. You know, it's just, like, inserting those memories into your brain. And how that changed how people interact with stories, and it led into, like, deeper, bigger things about life, honestly. I was being ambitious for the first thing I ever wrote. Am I drinking water? I'm gonna take a drink right now. I have a giant thing of water here. What's the video I'm most proud of? The, What Is It About Sonic video. How many books have I written? Oh, let me think. I have worked on, I think, 5 books, but I've only written 3 to completion, and I'm currently working on another one. You guess Takashi Iizuka's to blame for current Sonic brand and Sonic's mandates? Someone's to blame, and whoever it is, I don't like them, and I think they should stop. Is anyone in my family a writer? No. Not at all. The What Is It About Sonic video is literally one of your favorite videos on the internet? Thank you. Yeah. You know, normally, I always look back at my videos, I'm like, oh god, they're so fucking terrible. But that video, that is a video I look back on fondly. I think, you know, there's some stuff I could have done better about that video, certainly. But what it is about and what it has to say, I'm very proud of that video. I would benefit so much from taking another class. You see the potential? Yeah, I've been thinking about investing some serious time into improving my writing with, yeah, like a class or something. We'll see. We will see. Why is my emulation video my most watched? Because I think it's very useful and practical information that lots of people can benefit from. And emulation is a much wider topic than, you know, Sonic. Many more people are interested in that. And it has a catchy title. That's the important part. How do you even take writing classes? How do you practice? Well, how do you practice is easy, you just write. How do you take writing classes? Well, the online class I did, it was like courses where they would discuss like writing techniques and structure, and then they would give you like prompts and examples of things to work with, and then you would have like whoever, like, ran the class, you could have, like, talks with them about showing your work, and they'd read it, and you would discuss stuff to improve it. Really, in my opinion, the best way, really, to learn anything is to just do it a lot. Do I usually write with Kisho Tenketsu, or do I prefer American writing structures? I write in whatever way is best for the story I'm trying to tell. Generally, because obviously it's stuff I like and my influences, I take a lot from Japanese writing style, but I've not always followed that. I've done different things as well. Would my videos do better if they had more catchy editing? Probably not. All that really matters is the title and the thumbnail. That's the most important thing. I've thought about that with my videos and their relatively low production value. But honestly, I really do kind of want to keep it that way, because, you know, people say quality over quantity, but at the same time, it's like, if I were to try to put in as much effort as I possibly can to make the best videos I possibly could, I would get out one video every, like, month and a half, and then I would never be able to talk about 90% of the things I want to talk about. And, you know, this shit, like, I don't honestly consider YouTube to be something very important that I do. Like, if I'm gonna put in a lot of effort to make something really good for my artistic expression, it's gonna be for writing, or for making a game, or something like that. It's not gonna be for making a fucking YouTube video where I just talk about video games. This is just a place where I talk about games, and I don't really think it's very important. And I think a lot of stuff on YouTube is, like, putting, like, very mundane stuff in very shiny wrappers to make it seem more important than it is. And I don't want to do that. So, you know, I make my videos, I think, as good as they need to be to effectively say what I want to say, and I don't do any more than that. At least I'm still self-aware, because some YouTubers take themselves too seriously. Yeah, I mean, fucking, at the end of the day, I'm just some guy fucking talking about video games. It's the least important thing in the world, and I'm not gonna act like it's important. So that means no pariah plushies? No. I honestly don't think I have any plans to ever do merchandise, because, like, what? That's weird. That's weird to make merchandise of me. What would that even look like? Well, I've talked about maybe making a pariah, like, mascot character for the channel. So I guess I could do a plushie of that, but I won't. I don't want you to wear a pariah mask. I mean, you could just get a white mask and pretend it's merchandise of mine. A mascot? Damn. Enrica, on point. What would be the most controversial change I'd do for a full Sonic reboot reimagining where I had complete control over how it turns out? Well, it would be one of two things. It would either be that I would make a definitive hard separation for Classic Sonic, but if that was out of the question, then I would have it be Classic Sonic only. Then there would be no more modern Sonic, and you would say goodbye to many things. There'd be no more Blaze, there'd be no more Shadow, no more Babylon Rogues. A lot of shit would go away if I could only make one version of Sonic. Which is why I say I want to have two. I want to have modern and classic. Because I don't want to get rid of those things. But if I can only have one, I'm doing Classic Sonic. Because I like that more and I think it's better. What did modern Sonic fans do to me? Nothing. I just have a preference. And if people really don't want modern and classic split, then I'm gonna pick the one I like. Why am I a mask and gloves in a void with a controller? That's just some fan art that someone did, and I was like, that's sick. I love it. So I made it into my thing. And that's totally the aesthetic I've always, like, dug anyway, of some sort of ethereal entity wearing a mask. That's always what I thought of with the pariah shit. And then someone just, like, took that. I didn't even tell them about it. They just did it. And I'm like, perfect! Have I ever thought of doing a Sonic rewrite series? Like, rewriting the whole series or doing more rewrites of games? Because, no. That would be a lot, and I don't care that much. If someone wanted to pay me to do it, then I would care. But I got my own stuff to work on. I'm already fucking wasting my time with enough fan Sonic crap that I'm writing for funsies. Did I play the Mega Tower mod for Frontiers? I am not familiar with that. How big is my backlog? Don't ask. God. God. $5,000 commission to rewrite Lost World. We already did a Sonic Lost World rewrite. We did a stream of it. Oh, that's the end of that video. That's fine. I got other stuff to load up. Here. We did Island Rush. Now let's do Battle Rush. All the amazing combat in this game. Do I think pursuing making lots of money is not as good as a life goal? Well, aside from what I personally believe, here's something I'll tell you. There was a scientific study that was done following many people throughout the course of basically their entire lives to study what makes people happy. And by the end of people's lives, when they're in their, like, 80s and whatever, the vast majority of people said that their biggest regret in life was spending too much time working and trying to make money. And they wish they had spent it more on their passions, their interests, their hobbies, and spending it with with friends and family. So, that's something to think about. Where's the stream where I brainstorm ideas for my own IP? I probably would not do that. I wouldn't want to take people's ideas, because then that, like, puts you in, like, weird legal places. There's a threshold of amount of money that makes you happy and it stops there, you think? I think it talked about that as well, Hardboater Man. If I recall correctly, it found that if you are a happy person, money will make you happier. But if you are an unhappy person, money will not make you happy. I believe that that was the result of that study and what they found. Will I make a video on the Persona games? Maybe one day. Possibly. The thing is, those games are fucking long. I have to play them all again. Just 3, 4, and 5, that's like 300 hours of game. What part of Sonic's physical character design appeals to me the most? I would say the spikes are the most, like, striking thing of Sonic's design that I enjoy. Especially with, like, the Junio styling, where you put them in all cool poses and stuff based on the camera angle. Looks fantastic when it's well utilized. Sadly, in 3D, they've never quite used them as well. I should cover Persona 1 and 2 as well. I haven't played those ones, but I want to. So, yeah, that would be as well. But those games are all so long, I think. I don't have time to... Like, all the SMT stuff by Atlus, because after playing Persona and Catherine, I'm like, damn, Atlus fucking makes amazing games with fantastic stories. I want to see more of them. But fucking hell, man, they got so many and they're so goddamn long. Playing like all the SMT games and like their fucking like digital hacker saga or whatever the fuck it's called. I can't play through all those fucking games. I played Catherine? Yeah, I love Catherine. I think Catherine is fantastic. I think it has one of my favorite stories in a video game, probably, because I think it's very interesting, the things that it explores and the things it has to say. I think it's cool. Full Body, less so. I kind of fucked it up. Full Body is still good in its own way, but the original Catherine is top. Do I agree that even if Sonic falls into mediocrity for the end times, fans will keep the flame quality alive with fan content, original games inspired by Sonic? I mean, isn't that just where we are now? Isn't that where we've been for a while? Have I ever tried out Sonic Overdrive? No. Honestly, like visually and stuff, it looks super cool. Gameplay-wise, it really doesn't look that great to me. The item to my left will be my only weapon. That would be my microphone. My laugh would make a good villain laugh. Thank you. I can dig that. I love villains. Anytime I'm given a chance in something, I always opt to play the villains, because I think villains are just super fun. Will we ever see more top 10 videos? You'd love to see a top 10 video game stories? Top 10 video game stories would actually be interesting. I've never seen a video like that by anybody else. I'd have to think about what are my top 10 video game stories. That's not a bad idea. The thing is, would that get views? I don't know if that would get views, because there's no Sonic in that video. I play D&D? Not D&D, but I have played tabletop RPGs. I have actually been looking to start a campaign to GM myself, which I've never done before. I think it'd be a very good writing exercise. Outer Wilds story is obviously #1, right? Well, obviously. I mean, come on now. Come on. What else would it be? My most viewed video isn't about Sonic? Yeah, but that was because of, like, algorithm luck. Like, that's not a reliable thing. Something I've learned about YouTube is that if you get something that, like, plays to the algorithm and hits and gets a lot of views, that does not guarantee you anything for, like, the future. People will, like, that video has gotten me no more subscribers than any typical video I make, really. Despite the fact that it has fucking 15 times as many views as my normal videos. Do I feel leashed to Sonic content? No. I think I can escape the Sonic vortex, and I plan to. How many views did my old Best Way to Play Every Sonic video have? I think like 80,000 or 90,000. So the new one has surpassed it, which is good. The more people that see that, the better. It's because I didn't say don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I don't have the little graphic that comes up of showing the mouse clicking the buttons. I really need that on my videos. I think that will be the thing that will launch my channel into the stratosphere. Have I played Undertale? No, but I did watch a playthrough of it. Undertale is super cool. I do want to play it for myself, though. But I'll probably wait until all of the Deltarune comes out so I can play that as well. What's my favorite Super Saiyan transformation? I like Super Saiyan 3 because it has long hair. They don't care. The graphic of how 0% of viewers are subscribed. Yep, gotta bring that up. What are the other typical tactics people use? I don't even know anymore. I'm so out of touch. If I were to recommend a game of my favorite genre to a beginner, what game would that be? What's my favorite genre of game? I guess it would be action games. What's a good beginner action game? Bayonetta is not a bad starting place, because Witch Time is a very, forgiving mechanic, I guess. But I'd probably say that you want something simpler for an action game to start off with. Hi-Fi Rush? No, not Hi-Fi Rush. That's like... That game builds off of, like, character action games as a foundation, and then asks you to do rhythm game shit at the same time. I don't think that's a good game for, like, first-time action game players. How's the chatting been? It's been good. It's been fun. Checked out Promised Neverland. You're on episode 5. It's pretty good. It is pretty good. Stop when season 1 ends and just pretend that's the end of the show. Trust me. You'll be better off that way. What do I think about the Shadow Hedgehog prologue animation? Well, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But the teaser was cool. I don't really have anything bad to say about that. Except for... Shadow's skating animation looks really bad. It's never looked as good as it did in Sonic Adventure 2. Are we all in agreement of that? I think we're all in agreement of that. But especially lately in like Sonic Prime and in that animation at the end when Shadow is skating, it looks really stupid. BO6 is his second best running animation, but SA2 is his best one. The skating animation seems very based off Sonic Prime. Yeah, I agree. Seems like it. Do I feel pissed when I have to look for a YouTube video because I don't know what to do next? Yeah, that fucking annoys the hell out of me in games. It looks so cool in Black Knight. Oh yeah, the skating animation is okay in Black Knight. But SA2 is definitely the best it's ever looked. I've played SRB2 with the Adventure Sonic mod. I have not. I haven't really messed around with modded characters much in that game yet, but I will. Modded characters and modded stages. Maybe I'll do that on stream at some point. So I like Souls. Am I into PvP and invasions? Actually, no. I play the Souls games in offline mode. I do not like invasions. I do not like all the online interaction stuff in the Souls games. I don't like any of that shit. You prefer the white stream over the flames for his hover shoes too? Agreed, ZB. Agreed. It's more stylish when it's just like the white blasts coming out of his shoes. More anime. It's cooler. Do I enjoy Grasshopper Manufacturers games? No, I don't like their games at all. Their games are very flashy and cool and stylish, but gameplay-wise, they kind of suck. Every single one I've played. That's a good example of what I talked about before, how I don't think a lot of video games are super well designed. This is something I want to make a video about and talk about, like, how many games have you played where it's like, I don't know, what's a... Okay, like a game with lives, right? You're playing a platformer and it's got limited lives, right? So it's like, oh, don't die too many times, you'll game over. But then the game drowns you in lives so aggressively that you'll never, ever game over, even if you're absolutely terrible at the game. What is the point of having lives if you're just gonna break your own system by enabling the player to have so many? What's the point? Have I played God Hand? God Hand was, I think, the third game I ever did a video on my channel. Well, Iger J, that's because that's true. Most RPGs have very breakable game systems. So you don't have to keep playing games all day long? I don't see what you're saying, Sugar Smile. Like for lives? Like so you don't game over and have to keep playing the game? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about from a game design perspective. If that's what you're trying to achieve, why not just not have lives at all? And just design the game differently? The point is to massage your ego when you get many lives. I mean, that seems to be a big part of video game design, is the dopamine of the shinies and the number go-ups and the big fancy effects and everything, and not, like, good game design. Another noise. No, I'm probably not going to make a video on that, but I did see that new fan version of Sonic the Fighters, like Community Edition or something. I'll have to check that out. That's probably going to go on the spreadsheet. That's super cool. Have I played Ultra Kill? Not yet, but I will when it leaves early access. What keeps games interesting for me? I look for games that are different than anything I've played before, primarily. I don't like to keep playing the same kinds of games forever and ever. I look for new stuff, and stuff that's interesting. Like, what I do to keep being interested and excited about games, really, is I'm very picky with what I play. I only play things that are, like, new and exciting and interesting in some way, or are like the cream of the crop. Because I've played dozens of Metroidvanias at this point, right? And every fucking month, there are 6 new Metroidvanias come out, 4 of which are heavily inspired by Hollow Knight. And I look at the games and I see the trailers and the gameplay, and I'm like, I feel like I've already played this game 4 times already. I don't need to play this. It's probably fine. It's probably a good game. It's probably a very good game in some cases. But I just don't care, because I've already gotten that experience before. I want a new experience. If you're just gonna provide the traditional Metroidvania experience, then you need to do it as well or better than what I've already played. Because of that, I don't play a lot of stuff that I would look at it and normally be like, that looks cool, but it already looked cool the last time I played it. So I'm very picky about what I play. Favorite Metroidvania? Hollow Knight. Isn't that everybody's favorite Metroidvania? Is there anyone who's played Hollow Knight that's not their favorite Metroidvania? Probably not. Except, I guess, if you're an Outer Wilds fan as well, but, you know, keep that on the down low. It feels like FOMO passing all these good games, but you feel like you played them before. Fortunately, I am immune to FOMO. As people know on this channel who hang out in the stream regularly, I'm always way behind on everything. Spoken like a non-Dread player. Exactly! What is the name I give Metroidvania? Egavania? Like the Castlevania games that are Metroidvanias? I call them Egavanias. Being behind on everything is cool. You like playing games when they feel older? Honestly, I don't, because I have games that have been on my Steam wishlist for like 14 years, and that annoys me. Like, I have so many desires and ambitions to play games, and I never do. I don't have time! I hate it. Aren't I worried about spoilers? Well, I don't do social media, so I don't encounter spoilers that often. Gaming bucket list type shit? Oh yeah, definitely. My backlog I refer to as the list of games that maybe one day I will play before I die, possibly. Well, Leo, I was talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm probably going to see that. It looks fun. YouTube counts as social media? Whatever. I wouldn't consider it social media. It's just a video hosting platform. But regardless, I don't do YouTube that much either. As I've said many times, I don't really watch much gaming YouTube stuff. Playing Pizza Tower on my deathbed. I will do Pizza Tower probably very shortly after I finish the Sonic stuff. Because that's something people will be interested in hearing from me, because they've been asking me non-fucking stop. So that'll be a good, like, transitional game. You use AI to help you write. Will this become a crutch for you? Yes. Stop doing that. That was largely Pato's bit? Not true. People had bugged me about Pizza Tower a shit ton. Do I like Disney? Like the corporation? No. I like some things they've made. Why do I choose to make all my YouTube thumbnails and artwork black and white? Because I like black and white. I think it's cool, and it helps my stuff stand out amongst the puke of color that is typical YouTube thumbnails. I'm only streaming to 150 people now, totally not social. Shut up! How about you shut up? How about that? Would I ever make a tier list video for Sonic games? I plan to do that after I review all the Sonic games. I will do a big video where I will rank them all, and we'll see how everything plays out. Although the video is going to be different than other tier listing videos that other people do, because I have plans. Plans to make it more interesting. We still doing the stream where we listen to Sonic music? Yeah, that'll still happen. That'll be another ranking thing. We'll rank all the Sonic soundtracks. That'll be fun. That might have to be broken up into multiple streams or something, because that's a lot of shit to go through. You were watching the new vid and was like, you know, I like being with people? I don't know what that means, Laura, I'll be honest. Does that mean that you were like, this video's a waste of my time? Aww. Have I seen Smiling Friends? That's another thing people keep fucking bugging me about. I don't know what that is. I've not seen it. Do I watch professional wrestling or combat sports besides fencing? No. I don't really watch any sports, and wrestling seems like junk to me. Why am I so pessimistic? I was joking, Laura. What is a game I would consider to have the best replay value? Well, multiplayer games have an extremely high amount of replay value because you can just play matches forever if you enjoy the game enough. But for single-player games, I think the game I have the most replays in is probably Binding of Isaac. I have like 300-something hours into that game. You think I missed on Lost World? The time attack is fun when you learn all the movement mechanics? I mean, I know all the movement mechanics. It's just that the level design is really not conducive to typical Sonic time attack stuff, because you just run past most of everything. I've seen speedruns of Lost World, and it doesn't really look super great to me at all. When's my next vid? After this stream is over. And it's a doozy. It's a biggin'. It's the Sonic comic video that people have been asking for forever, and it's an hour and a half long. How come I don't enjoy Souls Invasions? Because Souls Invasions can just, like, tell you to go fuck yourself when you're like, you know, the Souls games are tough, and you're exploring a new area, and you're, like, barely getting by with the amount of Estus you have, and then randomly, some asshole comes in and kills you and destroys your entire run. It's like, oh, well, now I have to go through all that shit again due to randomness. That's not fun. If I had to rate Sonic Frontiers, what rating would I give it? Somewhere between a 6 or a 7. I mean, I don't like to do number ratings, but that's kind of where I feel on the game. Probably closer to 7. If Eggman's retired, I have to make an existing character into villain, or create a new human villain. What do? I do both. I mean, Metal Sonic is right there. I think he has potential for more stuff. And yeah, you can make new human villains. I think you can make lots of villains for Sonic. I think there's a lot of potential there. What's my opinion on the whole dying makes you lose all your stuff aspect of Souls games? Honestly, I don't really know if it adds a whole lot to the games. Like, every Souls game rips it off because... But the whole Souls-like genre is really weird because it's like... Okay, I get it that Souls is, like, big and popular and people like it. And you want to make a game like Souls. I get that. That's fine. But why does everyone, like, completely copy every single aspect of Souls? Right down to, yeah, the souls being dropped when you die. Every single one has that. Every single one has, like, a dark, grim fantasy vibe to it. Like, you can have the same kind of gameplay, but be a different game. That's why one of the only Souls-likes that I actually want to play is Another Crab's Treasure, because that's someone that was like, hey, what if we made a Souls-like game, but that also had, like, original ideas? The most anticipated Pariah project since the Eggman video? Well, that one's not gonna happen, so... Cough, Tunic, cough. See, that's one of those games that I hope to get to one day before I die, because I've heard great things about Tunic, and I want to play it. You need to check out the Crab game someday. I mean, that's another one of those games. I might play it one day eventually, 10 years from now. What is my opinion on making Sonic a flawed character? Is that kind of thing misunderstands a character? Yes. Sonic... I mean, he can have, like, little quirks, like, you know, he can't swim or he's impatient or whatever, but nothing that a story should ever focus on. What's my favorite culture? Is Japan better than the West? I don't fucking know. I've only ever lived in one culture. Tell you what, I'll live in Japan for, like, 5 years, and then I'll tell you what I think of it. Knuckles is getting a 30th anniversary comic. Well, that's nice. I felt like he was getting gypped with the whole Year of Shadow shit. Unfortunately, I don't care. Have I ever played Five Nights at Freddy's? A little bit, but I turned it off because it was too scurry, because I'm a huge bitch when it comes to horror games. But I'm thinking for this October, maybe I'll stream the FNAF games, because they won't be scary if I have all you jackasses making fun of me. Plus, those are good games for stream, because a lot of it's just sitting there, so it's perfect for chatting. Do I see Sonic as a Superman-type character? No. If I become successful enough on YouTube, do I think I'll quit my job? Yeah, absolutely. If that was possible. That would be fantastic. Pariah getting into FNAF lore? Maybe, we'll see. I don't know. I know that in those games you have to do like a bunch of weird, annoying, esoteric bullshit to like see the full story. That kind of stuff annoys me in games and makes me not give a shit. So it's very possible that I will just not care. I have a job? I do. Do I think power scaling is stupid or not? I think it's stupid. Stupid and pointless. What's the job? Don't be excited. I just work at a fucking grocery store. It sucks. Although I've been thinking of leaving for something else, so I probably will do that soon and be between jobs for a bit. So I might be able to focus more on video stuff. Probably in like September or something, I'm looking to get a new job. Is it at least a good grocery store? No, it sucks. Why does this boss remind you of a Lost World level? Because it's basically the grinding levels from Lost World. What's the worst Guardian in Frontiers in my opinion? The shark thing. That shit sucks. Am I getting money for making these videos? Yeah. Not a lot. But it helps. Did I really think working at a grocery store would be good? I never said I was expecting it to be good. I just needed money. I needed the money dollars. Well, actually, possibly, I've also been thinking about maybe going back to school, so that's another thing that I might do instead. It depends. We'll see. I'll think about it. You looking for my book, Double the Daydream? It's on Amazon Kindle. You might have to type it, like, exactly, with the brackets. I mean, it's buried because no one's ever heard of it or read it. Do I like any Sonic model fix? I haven't really looked into them very much. I don't know. I'd have to see. Generally, I don't really fuck with art style changes, mods in games, because I usually feel like they're a bit off. It's pretty rare that I like those kinds of things. Do I plan to release it physically? No. I released a book? Yeah, I mean, I just put it up on Amazon Kindle. Anyone could do that. It's made like nothing. Which is fine, because it's not even good anyway. Why does animation still get disrespect by general audiences? Because cartoons are for kids. And I don't know if that will ever stop being a thing. What is the name of the book? Snow in brackets. Sonic Frontiers is a glorified 10-track album, not a video game. I don't think the music is like that amazing or anything in Frontiers. It's good, I like this kind of music, but... eh, not the most amazing thing I've ever heard in my life. Recently, my sister has been getting me into the band Battle Beast. They got pretty good music. I quite like it. Was an animation originally considered to be for adults? I have no idea. Isn't the original animation some fucking shit from like the 1910s that looks like crap? You love to see Pariah lore? I've talked about my sister a couple times. I have a sister. Oh my god. Opinions on the hype for Sonic X Shadow? Honestly, I'm very detached from the general discussion these days. Are people that hyped for it? I don't know. I straight up do not know. I guess people are hyped for it because Shadow and animations. Eh? Look, people will be hyped for anything that says Sonic the Hedgehog TM on it. I don't care. They're hyped because of the apparently better level design. I think we gotta see a lot more before I'm willing to say anything about that. How do you think they can make a good Supersonic boss fight? Watch my video about redesigning Sonic Combat or whatever. I don't even remember what it was called. What Sonic game deserves a remake the most? I think that the adventure games need it the most. Because there's a lot of good stuff in those games, conceptually. But those games are flawed, to say the least. So nice to see long boost levels for the first time in forever. That's certainly nice. I wish the boost gameplay would go away, but we'll see. Has dozens of hours of video essays on his channel. I do not consider anything I make video essays. People always call my videos that. It's not an essay, it's just a guy talking. When I talk to my friends about video games, I don't consider that an essay. But I guess that comes from the misconception that people think my videos are scripted. Pig fishing would go crazy in a remaster. See, that's one of those things that I'd probably remove from the game in a remaster. The video essays on YouTube that call themselves video essays aren't even essays. That's true, Guess It Guy. The thing that annoys me the most is when people call something a fucking documentary. When it's like fucking... It'll be like a documentary on the history of Goombas in Mario. And I say, shut the fuck up. Oh, hey, Friggerific. You just finished the new video and it was fantastic. Glad you enjoyed it. For anyone that doesn't know, if you want to get access to my videos a little early, you can go to my Patreon or Ko-fi. Don't have to pay me anything. That's just where you go to get early access. So my videos are really unscripted, like my description says. I'm pretty eloquent. Well, I mean, with a lot of editing, you can make yourself sound real smart. How do I propose we get Daniel to do more good Sonic? Well, he just needs to be more involved. Can we get like a hashtag going? I don't do social media, so it's up to you all. Get them hashtags going, Daniel Barnes for Sonic, or whatever. Who is Daniel? Daniel Barnes wrote the Scrapnik Island miniseries for the Sonic comics, which was really good and felt like Sonic. And I now want to push getting him as involved in Sonic as possible. How long are my unedited recordings? Well, for the new video, which is an hour and a half long, I think all the unedited recordings together are like 5 hours. So I chopped a shit ton out of that video. Thank you, Chacklon. Glad you enjoyed it. Dang. Well, a lot of that is just like me flubbing takes and having to say things over and over again. So it's not like it's 5 hours of discussion that I chopped to an hour and a half. It's probably like 2.5 hours of discussion that I chopped to an hour and a half. Besides Scrapnik, how have the stories been? Awful! I think the comics are trash, honestly. Scrapnik Island is the only thing I would recommend reading. You can't imagine editing that? It sucks! It's miserable and it takes forever, let me tell you. But a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Gotta get those Sonic opinions out there so people can tell me I'm an asshole. What protest for Pariah for Sonic Rider? That's never gonna happen. I've been far too much of an asshole about Sonic for them to ever consider working for me. Which is why we need to push Daniel Barnes, because he's already involved, and he can make that happen. Not even Neo Metal? No, the first story arc, Battle for Angel Island, is like the worst one. It's complete junk. It's awful. Remember when Reddit got mad at me? They get mad at me like every other time I upload a video. They got Egoraptor in, so anything is possible. But they just use him for like marketing stuff. He doesn't work on anything. Have I ever actually experienced bullying over my Sonic content? You could say that. I remind you of Sonic's personality in the UK comics. Okay. Everything always comes back to Sonic. Yes, Chaklon. That would be great. What's my favorite historical figure? Probably either Isaac Newton or Einstein. Those guys were really smart. Surge Arc really bad then? I didn't like it. I mean, nothing really happens in it. Except a whole lot of fighting. Boy, howdy, do they fight. And then they fight, and then they fight. And then it ends. You wouldn't remind Daniel Barnes writing a Sonic game? You haven't read Scrap 9, so it's entire... You don't know what to expect? Well, if you trust me, Rainwar, or Rainyar, since you changed your name, then I trust Daniel Barnes. Believe in the me that believes in Daniel Barnes. You guess Sonic has similar issues to modern Dragon Ball Super? I've never watched Super, I don't know anything about it. Is Scrapnik a recent chapter? It was like last year, I think. Usually, how much does the whole process of an entire Sonic is always good video take? Depends. Some of them I can get out in like one day, if it's a shorter one. Like Mania is pretty easy and quick. Longer ones can take multiple days. The video I just did took me like weeks. Which is why there hasn't been as much on the channel lately. Have I met this Barnes guy? I've talked to him a little bit. He's actually a fan of mine. How's my Rider Story video going? That's coming. It'll be soon. Metal Virus wasn't good, it's just Sonic with zombies. Yes, I agree. Is my Shadow Story based off the Shiro Maikawa continuation? It is. It's based off of that concept he talked about. And then he actually knew me? He does! Which is cool. And I know he has somewhat similar thoughts about Sonic that I do in some things. From what I've talked with him about a little bit. I'm famous? More like infamous in most circles, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of, like, people that are dicks, but I don't know. My videos get pretty good viewership, I guess. So maybe I have a generally positive atmosphere around me. I don't know. I don't know. I should collab with Daniel Barnes? That'd be sick. I'd be super down for that. I don't know what we would do, but that'd be awesome. You like my stuff, but you're the target audience. That doesn't count. Whatever. I'll be leaving Sonic soon enough anyway. Gabriel, you were a hater? Damn. Converted. Saw that I was right all along. An indicator of someone being an asshole is if they're in messy drama all the time. Well, I don't start the drama. I just put my opinions in my YouTube videos, and then people post it on Twitter, and everybody yells about me. I wouldn't say I'm starting that drama. I think it's okay for me to put my opinions on my YouTube channel. Call me crazy. Have I ever considered being a creative consultant for Sonic Stories? I mean, I'd want to do more than that. I'd want to write. But, like I said, I'll probably never get the opportunity to work on Sonic officially because of how much a dick I've been. It's not a good way to get a job by talking about how incompetent the people currently doing that job are, because they're not really inclined to hire you that way. You like my Sonic videos? They sound like I have a brain and I think for myself. I can confirm that those last two statements are true. I do have a brain, and I do think for myself. Yes. Be respectful and all that? Yeah. But I also just like to be a snarky motherfucker, because I think it's funny. I mean, a lot of it is just me having fun, but it's also partially how I actually feel. I mean, Jessica, I just don't go to Twitter. You shouldn't do that. It's, like, bad for your mental health. There's people who dedicate their online presence to posting clips out of context from my videos. Kind of wild. That is strange. But everybody needs hobbies. I rather do things I enjoy, but who am I to tell others what to do? Just wrote my name into it and everyone either hates or loves me. Whatever. Twitter is a sewer. I don't care. Sounds like that person's gonna have a field day with my comment video then? Oh, they definitely will. Absolutely. What do I think about Aaron from Game Grumps being a Sonic ambassador back in the day? Smart move, honestly. He's very popular, and his relationship with Sonic is known, so recruiting him is a good idea. Sewers are actually useful, though? Yeah, but I don't want to spend my time in a sewer. Sewers are useful. It's where all the shit goes, and then nobody goes there. Does Frontier's story say anything? Oh, that video ended. Alright, now everyone's favorite. I got the next one lined up. The Action Chain challenges from Frontiers. Remember these? Anyway, does Frontier say anything? It tries to, but it's not very effective at it. And a lot of what it does with the characters is just like saying, is just like the characters becoming the characters that they already are again. It's weird, and we're gonna have things to talk about when we get to the Frontiers story video. Any interesting Ghost in the Shell? I watched it a while ago. Honestly, didn't love it. Transhumanism is not really a topic that's super interesting to me. Despite the fact that I'm all into, like, sci-fi and AI and robots and shit, transhumanism specifically is a topic that I don't care that much about. The only transhumanism story that ever really interested me much was Soma, the game. That game is pretty cool and explores some interesting things. But generally, Psycho-Pass? Never watched Psycho-Pass, no. Will Sonic ever be back? There's a lot of years left in humanity's existence, so probably one day. Do I believe ghosts are real? No. Do I watch much TV? Not much. But I watch stuff every now and then when I'm in the mood. Do I think Ian Flynn is the worst Sonic writer? Well, no. Obviously. Am I a ghost? Yes. Do I hate Ian Flynn? No. I just don't like his writing. Will Frontiers review have multiple parts? No. I was thinking about it, but I think the best idea is to just make a giant fucking Frontiers video that covers the whole game. I'll still break it up into gameplay and story, but I'm not gonna do like part 1, part 2 of talking about Frontiers as a whole. It's just gonna be a giant fucking mess of a video, just like the game itself. You're much happier with Ian Flynn writing than what we were getting before? Honestly, I don't think it's that much better. It's a bit better, but not that much better. So I think Ian Flynn would be better if he consumed more Japanese Sonic media. I mean, it's just the guy and his influences. It's just not what he's into. Do I think Ian Flynn would be better at writing Sonic if he was a different person with different views and interests? Yes, I guess. I don't know. There's still problems with just his writing, like, structurally and stuff that I don't like. So there won't be story of and always good. No, it'll still have separate gameplay and story, but there will be one gameplay video that will be this giant fucking thing, and then the story video. What are my thoughts on the Insomniac Spider-Man games? Boring, generic, AAA, trash, don't care. When was I born? 695 years ago, in the year 695. What are my thoughts on the take that Amy's crush on Sonic holds her back? Holds her back from what? That's not math? I think you're confused, Tiger J. That checks out perfectly fine to me. Do I prefer Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom? Haven't played Tears of the Kingdom yet, because I'm always behind on everything. Did Ian Flynn reply to my Sonic Canon video? I think he did. I think, like, in a podcast, someone asked him about it, and he said something. Whatever. Honestly, until I see the proof in the pudding, I don't really put much credibility into what they say about the canon. Any love for Twisted Metal or any car combat? Never played Twisted Metal. I don't really know many car combat games. Look at Enrica doing math over there to try to make a joke. Wasn't his response kind of like nothing? Yeah, it didn't really have much substance to it. It was basically saying, like, that what I think is wrong, and that they are doing things. But again, I don't put a lot of weight into what they say until I see it. Sonic canon doesn't matter. He's got to drop a hack and say, I want this with that. It's true. It's true. Did I actually buy any of the comics, or someone else did it for me? I used a free trial of Comixology to read everything, because there's no fucking way I'm paying for that trash. But I probably will pick up a trade paperback of Scrapnik Island, because it was good, and I enjoyed it. Sami, I don't know why you're so on me playing Tears of the Kingdom. I'm gonna play it. I've fucking started a video series reviewing all the Zelda games. I'm gonna get to it. Eventually, one day before I die, hopefully. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Do you hope it's just one day before you die? We'll see, we'll see. If the series has nothing left to offer you, then stop engaging with it, Demetrius. That would be my recommendation. Unfortunately, I'm too deep in, so I can't do that, but that's fine. Endorsing piracy as a creative isn't really a good idea, and that's something I would never do. Never, ever. You're doing that after movie 3? Why after movie 3? Why not right now? Do you really think movie 3 is gonna be the thing that'll turn you around? More generic Hollywood slop? Pretty sure most people in this chat are in too deep. That's true. That's correct. Playing Sonic games like it's crippling drug addiction sounds wild. It's not. I enjoy the games. I still enjoy the games. I enjoyed Frontiers. I even enjoyed Forces to an extent. I quite enjoyed Superstars. I still like these games. I just have given up the idea that they're ever gonna get it right. I'll just take what they give me, and I'll enjoy it for what it is. Will I be playing Sonic until I die? I don't know. Yeah. You will fix Sonic yourself, Dark Ghostwind? Good luck with that. I'm sure many people have felt that way. Will there ever be a thumbnail in color? I've been thinking about possibly changing the style of the channel. I don't know if I would do color, though, but I might do something a little different than what I do now. But I was considering it. I might do, like, a different style for, like, a second channel, potentially, if I ever do that. Which, that's not me saying I will. It's just, I kind of like what I got going on here, and I think I might just want to do, like, a more refined version of it. And then I'll save that other idea for the potential if I ever do another channel. I guess I could talk about it, because whatever, who cares? I was thinking of doing a manga aesthetic for the channel. So it would still be black and white, but it would be like white backgrounds, and it would be like manga-esque illustrations for, like, my mascot character and things like that, with, like, manga speech bubbles all over the place. That might be kind of cool. I've never seen anyone do anything like that for a YouTube channel aesthetic, so it would be unique. So I was thinking maybe if I ever do, like, a channel talking about, like, anime and manga or something, that would be a good aesthetic for that. I have anyone in mind to do it? No, I mean, it was just an idea I had. Dark mode using losers? Yeah, I use dark mode, because I don't want a fucking bunch of white blaring at me from my screen. My favorite cartoon, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Have I read Berserk? No. Have I seen Nimona? I've never even heard of that before. I think the best way to still enjoy a dwindling franchise is to just stick with the old stuff? I mean, yeah. Dark mode is just objectively better for power saving and battery life, and your eyes. Better for that, too. Which I think is important, personally. You're playing every mainline Sonic game. Is it normal to feel pain? Yes, absolutely. That's a pretty typical part of the Sonic playthrough experience if you're playing all the games. Trust me, I just did it. Is there a Mario game that has an interesting story or characterization for me? I mean, there's not much, but like Galaxy, the storybook stuff with Rosalina is nice. And I like what Odyssey is doing. It doesn't have like much of a real story to tell, but it kind of has a little commentary about just the fun of games, which I enjoy. Especially Thousand Year Door. Well, I was thinking like main Mario stuff. Super Paper Mario definitely has something to say. That's a nice little story. People that use light mode all the time has strong-ass eyes. The idea of having strong eyes is funny to me. Any TMNT love? Yeah, I like TMNT. Actually, I talked about earlier, the, like, Pariah Backlog Club, or whatever. I was thinking of calling it the Backlog Club, because that's what it would really be. I was thinking potentially for the first edition of that, or episode, or whatever it would be, maybe doing some TMNT stuff. Maybe a double feature of Last Ronin and Shredder's Revenge, because those are two things I've been wanting to get to, and I haven't. So that might be a fun time to talk about both of those. And maybe as a bonus, the 90s TMNT movie, because I've been wanting to watch that because I've never seen it before. Would that be something people would want to do for Pariah Backlog Club? For anyone that missed it earlier, the idea being that we like talk about something, like we set a date of we're gonna stream, we're gonna talk about this thing, so it's like a chance for everyone to go read or watch or play whatever we're talking about, and then we can all come to the stream and I kind of review it, but we also just chat about it and what we thought about it, because it's fun to talk about stuff, you know, in that kind of setting with everybody. But, you know, if people haven't seen stuff or it's been a long time, but if we're all, like, fresh on it, we could have nice discussions. That might be fun. So that might happen at some point in the near future. I don't know when. Maybe after the Sonic era. Maybe before. Who knows? something I want to try. I think it would be cool. When are we gonna watch the Lord of the Rings extended cuts? We could talk about those, because those are good movies, but that is a lot. We would need a reminder of that, though? Well, yeah, I'd probably, like, mention it in the stream, like the previous Backlog Club stream. I would say what we're gonna do for the next one, and then you'd have, like, 2 weeks or a month or whatever in between them. And I'll probably do community posts as well, saying what we'll be talking about. Have I ever thought of reviewing movies? Possibly. The thing is, I'm not a huge movie person. I don't watch that many movies. So probably not. Not, like, specifically in a dedicated sense. Episode 1 of the Pariah Backlog Club better be Outer Wilds. The problem with that telekinetic man is I can't play that game again. So I can't be fresh on it in that way. Also, that would turn into, like, a philosophy discussion. What's my favorite Ninja Turtle? Raphael. I think Raphael is a very fun character with a lot of potential for cool stuff. Get a hypnotist to make me forget. Unfortunately, that's a bunch of quackery, so I can't. How is it possible to make a game you can only play once? I can't tell you because that's a spoiler, but you can only play the Outer Wilds once. Okay, I can say it like this. You know how you watch a movie that has a big twist, and then you get to the end of the movie and you're like, whoa! But you can never watch that movie again like that, because now you know the twist, and it fundamentally changes your experience with that movie. It's similar to that. Not exactly. There's not a twist, but there's stuff like that in Outer Wilds that you can only experience the game truly once. Outer Wilds better go crazy for how much fans shill it. It does. It does. Yeah, I mean, telekinetic, man. People are going to do that no matter what, though. If people don't care, people don't care. Have I seen the new Japanese physical edition? It looks cool. No, I did not know that was a thing. Sure, Mao, I guess. I mean, it's going public right after this stream is over, so it doesn't matter, really. Is it better to have something you can only experience once, or something you can experience as much as you want, and it's great every time? I think it's perfectly fine for things to be different, and you can have some experiences you can only have once, and some that you can revisit. I don't think anyone needs to strive for one specifically over the other. That's true, Rainyar, but it's not quite like that in Outer Wilds, because with the things that you get from your first playthrough of Outer Wilds, you can't really play the game anymore, because the game relies on a first playthrough. Like, it does not really work. The game design doesn't work anymore on replay. It's really difficult to talk about without getting into details. Oh yeah, telekinetic, man, absolutely. The fact that you can only play Outer Wilds once ties into what it's about. It's a beautiful game. It's a beautiful piece of art. You want to play Outer Wilds without feeling disoriented by the first-person view? I mean, it would not be as magical, but I suppose, as an alternative, you could, like, watch a Let's Play of Outer Wilds, and if you watch the whole thing and follow someone through their experience, it's pretty good, but it's not gonna be as... Because Outer Wilds is a very intimate game. I would highly recommend playing that game alone in a quiet space where you can really dive into it hard. Everyone who's a big fan of Outer Wilds talks about this game like this because you don't understand if you haven't played the game. It's a very special game. Would it run well on low-end PCs? I assume so. I don't think it's too demanding. It's not like super crazy graphics or anything. Yeah, exactly, Telekinestic Man. So it's not as good of an experience, but if you find yourself not able to play the game for whatever reason, it's probably the next best thing. What other games I think are special? I mean, in the way Outer Wilds is special, it's really the only one that I know of. But I think that, like, just solid quality, well-made games are a very special thing in their own right, too. This is something I've also been thinking about maybe doing a video on one day. Like, the games as art shit that people talk about, it's always examples of games that are very, like, story-heavy or have some, like, you know, big emotional whatever thing. It's like Journey. That's a great example of a game as art, whatever. But that's always propping up the parts of games that are not the game, which I think does a disservice to games as an art form in and of itself. Like, I would point to something like Devil May Cry 5 and say that's a wonderful example of games as art. I think Devil May Cry 5's game design is a masterpiece of artistic expression that is a very special game in its own way. But people never talk about that when they talk about the art of games. It's always the story or the visuals or the immersion or the vibes or that kind of stuff. It's never the game. I feel like game design is a very underappreciated part of video games, which is weird. Oh, Stanley Parable, that's another good example of a game that you can only really get the proper experience the one time, and it is quite a cool game. Definitely DMC's combat in itself is an art form. Yeah, I think so. And it doesn't get that kind of appreciation because, it's a silly action game where you fight demons. That can't be artistic. Fuck you. Absolutely it can be. Soma's one of the few games that broke you as a person that bad. Yeah, Soma has some shit to say. Soma is a very interesting game. Pretty profound. Can also be kind of existentially scary in a number of ways, but it's cool. What Sonic fan games / mods have caught my interest recently? Well, there's the new Community Edition of Sonic the Fighters that came out. That's cool. I think there was a new update to Sonic Venture. That's exciting. Nothing else immediately jumps at my mind. You like what someone was doing with the narrative, but the gameplay was so bad? Yeah, I mean, it's one of those walk around and press the interact button on things games, so the game there is pretty weak, but the story is solid. Soma would have been better as a novel. Soma would have been a very great science fiction novel released in the 1960s. It would be legendary now, and there would be movies about it, and people would talk about how great it is without ever reading the book. It'd be great. Soma was great to watch as a Let's Play. Yeah, I think that game makes for a fine Let's Play. Yeah, exactly, Sam likes to mash. People will talk about, like, specific example of how this game is art because it's arty-farty and it's about a father or whatever. And I'm like, no, man. The fucking silly game about the guy fighting demons, that's art. And the game about the plumber jumping on the turtles, that's art. And, you know, so much stuff. It's definitely, I think, an interesting topic to talk about that I've never seen anybody else talk about before. Spec Ops The Line is the only video game where you can tell a story like that. I have heard very good things about Spec Ops The Line, but I never played it because the game looked like the most boring, generic, third-person military shooter ever. Make that DMC5 video? Why do you assume it'll be a video and not multiple videos? What's my next Sonic Was Always Good vid? What do you think it's gonna be? It's gonna be, Waku Waku Sonic Patrol Car, obviously. Sega Sonic Popcorn Shop video when? Someone out there has a working Sega Sonic Popcorn Shop, right? They could do a review of it, and people would care. Galton, I mean, I would not agree with that, because Sonic has had multiple rivals, and it's worked perfectly fine in the past. You've heard a review, it's not very good, the popcorn that is. I mean, it's just a popcorn machine, right? Doesn't that just come down to the popcorn you use for it? He doesn't have anything to actually compete with Shadow and Knuckles over. He doesn't have any ideological differences with them to fight over. No, but that's fine. The rivalry comes in how the other characters can grow from their attempts to compete with Sonic. Such as many of the games have done, like Shadow in SA2, or Blaze in Sonic Rush, or even Jet, I think, has a lot of potential that could be bred from his rivalry with Sonic, that maybe I'm writing a story about that right now, who knows? Why aren't video games preserved, archived like movies, TV shows, and even art? Because the companies don't care? But, I mean, people talk about the archiving of games and how it's in a horrible state. Fucking every video game ever has been archived by people. I think it's fine, honestly. There's never going to be the companies that do it. It's going to be people that give a shit. And the people that give a shit have already laid a lot of the groundwork. Almost everything is archived. We're good. In 100 years, if you want to play Punch-Out Arcade, you'll be able to do that. You'll be able to download it from a website and play it on some emulator. Reset, thank you very much. Do I think you should wait a couple years to play Outer Wilds? You don't want to get overshadowed by a different game that you played a while back? No, I think you're fine. Trust me, Outer Wilds will not be overshadowed by anything. It will overshadow every single piece of art you've ever engaged with in your life. At least it did for me. What are the best / my favorite indie games? Hollow Knight, Hat in Time, Cloud Built, I don't know. I play mostly indie games. You want me to fucking pick out from, like, a list of dozens? You know what's a very good indie game that's very underrated? Like, this is the kind of thing I want to do with my channel in the future. A game called Hyper Fight. It is a really, really good and really funny 2D fighting game that's very accessible. I think it would be a fantastic, like, learning fighting game for people that have never played the genre before. It's fucking hilarious, and it's really good. And it's not even like a... You know, it's good for beginners, because, you know, it's not as complex. There is a lot of depth to that game, for real. But it is simple to play and understand. I think it's a fantastic game. I would recommend it. Hyper Fight. It's on Steam. It's free. Go check it out. Play it with a friend. You'll be laughing your asses off, and then you'll, like, go into try-hard mode and have really cool matches. Do I enjoy the Frontiers Action Chain challenges? Not really. They're kind of amusing at first, and then it's just the same shit over and over. You were looking for something to start on fighting games? Yeah, Hyper Fight is perfect. I think it is the perfect entry fighting game. Thoughts on the Sonic mangas? Never read them. You install and play with the boys tonight? Let me know what you think. Sam likes to mash. I assure you, A, you'll find it hilarious, and B, you'll probably have a very good time with it. Best way to get into fighting games is to time travel to 1996 and go into arcades. I don't agree with that at all. The arcade experience is not a very conducive one to getting into fighting games. There's no tutorial, no way to learn how to play the game, nothing that tells you how the game works, like what motions you should be doing or how to play the characters. And there's no kind of, like, curation of your opponents. It's just whoever is there, and it's probably killers that are gonna fucking destroy you. You would love some analysis on fighting game design? There's not much. The thing is, I'm not good enough at fighting games to really do that justice, I don't think. Because fighting games are incredibly complex. There is so much nuance to their design, and I don't fully grasp it myself. Is it Hyper Fight or Hyper Fight 2? Hyper Fight 2 is not out yet. They're working on it now. But Hyper Fight 1 is great. Play that. That's how people learned back in the day. Yeah, and it was awful. People nowadays get a lot better, a lot faster, because now there are resources for learning and improving. What's my favorite 90s slang? Gotta be Radical, right? Or sick. I still use sick in my regular language all the time. Radical, bro. Yeah, man. Radical. The return to status quo is definitely killing the long-term investment of these comics. Certainly for me, because nothing ever fucking happens. Sick is a 90s thing? I think so. I associate it with, like, skateboarding and shit. I'll say I'm not into the new slang of wild, of calling everything wild. I don't like that. I don't like the kids and their new lingo. Keep using my old lingo. Tony Hawk was always good. You know, when I played the 1+2 remake, I recorded it in the event of doing a review. But honestly, I just have nothing to say about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. It's just good. It's just good and fun. That's it. I really have nothing to say. You don't care about slang anymore, you do you? I'm the same, I'm joking. I just like to be old man and make fun of the kids. What about words like Riz? I don't even understand what that means. Not even a gameplay breakdown? I mean, the Tony Hawk games are pretty simple. There's not really that much to even say. Thoughts on Frontiers movement? The Frontiers movement is very fun, but it does get old. You ultimately kind of tackle every platforming scenario with like the same 3 things. You either do a boost jump and then use the stomp bounce to like precisely land where you want. You'll launch yourself off a rail and fly past everything. Or occasionally you do like a wall run and like launch yourself upward. And that's all cool, but that's all you do for 10 hours. The spin dash is pretty dope though. Honestly, I don't really like the spin dash in this game. It's just, it's basically God mode. Do you want to just fly past everything? Use the spin dash. Would I want to do a rewrite of Sonic Prime? Sonic Prime was fine enough for what it is, I would say. It just needed, like, an extra pass or two, mainly. People like to fly past everything? Boy, howdy do they. Why is Sonic climbing walls? That's Knuckles' thing? 'Cause Breath of the Wild. That would be why. What you see in the first island of Frontiers is what you'll see in the rest of the game. Hugely agreed. That's a big problem with this game. It's so repetitive. It plays its full hand in the first island, and then you just do that 3 more times. And it gets old eventually. That's why I like the Island Rush, because it's just the best part of the game distilled into a nice little hour-long playthrough, and it's fun. How much longer is the stream gonna be? I don't know. As long as I feel like it. I got something I gotta do later, so I might call it in like 45 minutes. We'll see. Whatever I'm feeling. What is Island Rush? It's a mod I showed off at the beginning of the stream. Basically takes all the like longer, bigger platforming sequences from the open zone and strings them all together into one big gauntlet. And it's cool. Whoa. Whoa. The footage be breaking, at least on my end. You all seeing that? Okay, it's back. Don't know what happened there. How come I don't use text boxes for stream instead of scribbling? Because I like the scribbling, because it looks like shit, and I think that's fun. My first use of the scribbling and the shitty, like, badness was in the Chaotix disappearance video I did, because I was doing, like, a thing with that video. That was a fun video to make. It was a bit more work than my typical videos, editing-wise, because I was, doing some more involved stuff, but it was fun, because I was fucking... that shot, that just picture of sticks with the word nepotism is some funny shit. People talking about James Bond, you think he'd be better for the long-term character arc? I mean, the whole point of James Bond is just that, like, he's adventure spy man. I think he works perfectly as, you know, he's just a guy that goes off on one-off little cool adventures. Very similar to, like, Indiana Jones. He's adventure man. If I don't like Frontiers too much, why do I stream myself playing it instead of a game I like more? Well, I'm not playing it. This is just footage I recorded for the video I'm going to be doing the Frontiers, and I already had it, so I used it. Do I think the Indiana Jones game has a chance of being any good? I'm sure it will be a perfectly serviceable piece of generic AAA slop that I will not play. Like I said before, I'm very picky about the games I play. Praying the classic chaotics appear in the IDW Knuckles Anniversary comic. I got bad news for you. This is not gonna happen. Have I read any of the fan comics by the people that work on the IDW comics? I have not. And I don't care. Why? Watch my video on the disappearance of the classic chaotics, and you'll know why. In the short answer, it's, I don't even know what you're talking about. Why would the chaotics be in a Knuckles comic? They're modern characters. They wouldn't appear in a classic Sonic comic. I don't know what you're talking about. Someone mentioned it earlier in the stream, Telegonistic Man. Apparently they are doing a Knuckles 30th anniversary comic. That new Prince of Persia is coming to Steam soon? Cool. That's a game that I would like to get to one day before I die, because it looks really cool. That joke still kills you. It's not a joke. I don't know what you're talking about. But even before the Frontiers vid, I streamed myself playing Frontiers quite a bit. That's because I was playing Frontiers at that time to get footage for the video. I was like, well, I'm playing the game, might as well stream it. Oh, the comic was announced today. There you go. I'm sure it will be cute, and nothing will happen, and it will be fine. You pretty sure the Chaotix are not modern characters? Horror Boater Man, I don't know what you're talking about. The Chaotix first appeared in Sonic Heroes. That's what those characters were made for. And if you think otherwise, you may be mistaken on that. Because that is definitely what happened. Alright, later, Mr. K. Thanks for hanging. What's my favorite collectible? Like, what did I rename the rings to? I think my favorite is Pepsi cans, because most people are gonna be like, what the fuck? But it was thought out, because it's a reference to Pepsi Man, which has a lot of Sonic Adventure 2 similarities. Another one that I did, one of the earlier ones that no one ever commented on, was I did Cheerios, was like one of the first ones. And that was thought out too. Calling them Cheerios was a reference to the Sonic 2 commercial. And no one ever commented on that. You people let me down. You thought it? Well, you should have posted something about it, Sam Likes to Mash. How could you do this to me? Why are loops automated in 3D Sonic games? Their character controller allows them to go through loops without scripting? Because either they just don't want that to be a thing, because that would require the player to do it themselves, or they literally don't even understand how to design a game that functions like that. Like, they're so dead set on the shitty design principles that Sonic has been stuck in forever that's just all they know. How else do you make a 3D Sonic game? There's no other way to do it. That's what it feels like sometimes. What's the correct way to go about scripting a 3D Sonic game? I talk about it a bit in my pinball video, the way the classic games did it, where your speed going into the scripting influences how it works. So it's still gameplay. Almost like you could say 3D Sonic gameplay is stagnant. Almost like it. That was a really good video, Telegonistic Man. I tell people to watch that all the time, because... yes. Jay's Reviews made an excellent video about automation in Sonic. I think I watched that, but I don't remember what he said. You want them to learn that homing attack chains is not gameplay? It's gameplay! You press the A button repeatedly. That's a game. Technically. You wish my pinball video was more popular? Such a good video? Yeah! Unfortunately, people just aren't interested in that topic. Even though I find it really fascinating and interesting, and I would say important to understanding Sonic. But, oh well. It is what it is. Seen the new Helldivers update? I have. Looks pretty cool. It's been a while since I played Helldivers. I gotta get back on that. New difficulty, that's pretty hype. I still never even beat a level 9 mission against the Terminids. Now I gotta do level 10 missions against both factions. Fucking hell, man. It's because I started playing with my friends, honestly, because they're not as good. I was doing much better playing with randos, because it'll matchmake you with other people on the same difficulty as you. Telekinestic Man, we gotta play at some point. I made some good points in the video, but you still don't like the roll lock? Oh, neither do I. I'm not saying that we need to fucking retain all the principles of pinball for Sonic forever. It's just as a baseline for understanding the game that we're even talking about, I think it's important. I fully agree with fuck roll lock, you know? And, like, if we want to go full-on, like, pinball physics Sonic stuff, like, the drop dash totally breaks, like, the rules of Sonic as far as the importance of maintaining your speed well, because you can gain speed on the move without any sacrifices. But who cares? It's so much goddamn fun. I see Telekinestic Man. Okay, I mean, we can work something out at some point. Who's the most developed character of the Team Chaotix? I mean, they're all, like, one-dimensional cardboard cutouts, basically. I guess Vector, if you count, like, the gag of him liking vanilla. Arguably, the spin dash does too. Arguably. Though that is at least based on some pinball principles. If you watch my pinball video. You're off to watch the comic vid, have fun streaming. I hope you enjoy it, Little Big Wave. Vector liking vanilla isn't even in the games? No, but it's a fun thing. I enjoy it. It's out, technically inept. Not at the moment, but it is up on the Patreon and Coffee, and when the stream is over, I'm gonna post the comic video. I'm very interested to see what the reception and the backlash to that video is gonna be, because I know it's coming. I know it's coming. I know what videos trigger the things, and this is another one of those. And sometimes I feel like I should stop making these videos because of what happens, but I'm gonna say what I have to say. Fuck you. The Ian lovers are gonna get me, be careful. It'll be fine. I mean, I think that for the people here that have watched the video, what do you think? I think I am generally pretty fair in that video. I mean, I say some snarky shit here and there, but generally I don't think I'm being, like, a total dick. I'm just criticizing the stories and the writing. I think. You're already sharpening the pitchfork? That's fine. You watched all my videos and Sonic was always good 4 times already? Damn. I mean, I throw on videos from my favorite YouTubers in the background all the time of, like, rewatches and re-listens. Red Letter Media, especially. I'm just fucking always listening to their shit, doing, like, busy work and chores and stuff. A lot of people are gonna take my words like I'm wishing Ian to be fired. I mean, I wouldn't 100% be wrong. It's stuff like that. It's stuff like that that is why I will never get to work in the series officially. They're gonna get me. Hey, people were fucking begging for Pontac and Graf to be fired for years. Why is that okay? I'm not the first person to do a multi-hour critique on Ian Flynn's works. It's not multi-hour. It is an hour and a half. What's the most negative response I've ever heard from a take? You know, despite everything, I don't think anyone's ever told me to kill myself. So, I'm not quite there yet. I still got some work to grow as a person that pisses people off on the internet. I don't know, honestly, it doesn't really stick in my brain very much. I don't remember what people have told me. Maybe after the Frontier story video that'll happen. I don't know, it seems like these days maybe people are turning on Frontiers a little bit more and starting to realize that the game is not the greatest thing in the world. Many people call me a JP purist, and it's not 100% wrong. It just so happens to be that the vast majority of Sonic things I enjoy are Japanese made. But I like Sonic Prime. I like Scrapnik Island. I have some respect for things like Sad AM. So, there. Also, I enjoy Sonic 3D Blast and Sonic R, made by, I think, British developers? No, I think Traveler's Tales is American. Scrapnik was cool. Telekinestic Man, Scrapnik Island was the only thing in the entirety of the comics that I read that I enjoyed, and that felt like Sonic to me. Oh, Traveler's Tales is a British studio. Okay. How the fuck do I like Sonic Prime? You don't remember the video? Well, maybe watch the video. I mean, I don't love Sonic Prime. I don't think it's the greatest fucking show of all time. But I think that there is a number of enjoyable elements to it. Many people would kill me if I said I like Sonic Prime. I mean, I've said it multiple times. I know what I'm missing in Shadow Apocalypse vid, Vector and Vanilla's grandchildren. No. Prime Season 3 is crap, even with rest is passable. I don't think it's crap. It just has pretty significant problems. But I wouldn't say it's crap. When's the comic video coming? Once this stream is over. Would I kill to have Studio Trigger animate Sonic? No, I wouldn't kill someone over that. But I'd like to see it happen. You don't know crap until you see the Knuckles show? Thankfully, I'm not gonna watch the Knuckles show, so I'm good. Oh yeah, I figured out, like, these things are like climbing surfaces in this game. Really weird. I don't know why. Probably in an earlier version of this game, they were gonna be used for something, and then something happened during this game's development, and it turned into a different game. It's in the Patreon, go, go, go. No, don't go, go, go. Stay here and watch the stream, and then watch it. I need your views. Watch the ads. No, it's fine. Look, if you use ad block, I'm not gonna blame you. Go right ahead, I say. Do it. If you feel a desire to, throw me a donation. If you give me $1, that is like 10,000 times more money than YouTube would ever give me for every view that you give me for every single one of my videos combined. Can you give me love instead? Love will not pay my bills, unfortunately. I agree that Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Eggman are the only actually iconic Sonic characters. Everyone else only famous among fans like Amy or Shadow, or just niche like Blaze. Honestly, I think the only Sonic characters I would call iconic are Sonic, Tails, and Eggman, probably. I don't think I would say anybody else. Maybe Shadow. Maybe Shadow. I don't even know if I would say Knuckles is iconic. CMJ, don't start that. Don't start that hashtag. We were talking about hashtags before. Not that, but I do want to promote, like, Daniel Barnes getting more involved in Sonic. Do that. Hello, Rouge? Do people who are outside of the Sonic franchise don't know shit about Rouge or care about her? Shadow's the second most iconic Sonic character, only surpassed by Sonic himself? Possibly. I mean, part of it is the memes. Rouge is popular due to furries. Furries got plenty of other stuff. Rouge is not, I don't think, an especially big deal. They only ever comment on Rouge's personality? Yeah, of course. That's what everyone's talking about. You'd say she's a pretty big deal? In a certain way, she is kind of a big deal. Shut up, technically inept. Dream Team is British? Oh yeah! I enjoy Dream Team as well. I mean, I don't love the game, but it was alright. I agree with that, Real Nova. I'm gonna talk about that in the video. It's weird that you get a memory token for completing platforming challenges, but you get 8 memory tokens for finding a chest and walking in a circle. Why are you more rewarded for doing less? That doesn't make sense. That's not how games are. Have I ever played Elden Ring? Yeah, I played Elden Ring. Is one of my least favorite Souls games, actually. Do I have Spark 3 yet? I have it. I haven't played it. But I'll be playing it soon. Soonish. Do I think it's lame that Cream stopped being pushed as the 5th main character after a while? That was only in the advanced games. She was never really that. What are my Souls games opinions? I think they're really good. But they have a lot of annoying shit in them. Heroes and X? What about them? In Heroes, I would not say that Cream is the 5th character. That game is chock full of characters. She is just one of many. And in Sonic X, I guess she's treated as one of the more significant characters in that. But she still plays mostly a background role because she doesn't do any, like, action stuff. Which I guess that was the first thing that did the whole, like, Cream is a little baby child and she can't get involved in the action. Which I find weird because, like, in the games that she was introduced in, she was doing action shit. I don't understand. What is that character? Yeah, but Cream was one of the new characters to a mainline story in Heroes? Yeah, but it's not like it's about her. She is just there to be girl Tails. Thought the idea was created for X first? No, she was created for Sonic Heroes to be girl Tails. Did I watch the Emerald arc in Sonic X? Not all of it, but I watched, like, the final, like, 2 episodes of it. It's pretty cool. They, approach the whole Emerald thing in a very different way, but they intelligently realized that Cream's story in battle was the best part of it, so they kinda, focus in on that. Yeah, telekinetic, man. I think Tails does fly a little bit, but yeah, he is genius, man. And Sonic X was the first thing that really made me, like, cognizant of the fact that they just don't give a fuck about who's fast and who's not. Like, Tails and Knuckles should be as fast as Sonic. And, like, so should Espio, and really Cream should, and, like, a lot of characters are super fast in the games. But in Sonic X, Sonic's thing is that he's super fast, and Knuckles' thing is that he's super strong, and Tails' thing is that he's super smart. And, like, that's it. And I understand that because it makes Sonic more unique for a show, but it is weird because that's what those characters are. The entire idea of Tails was for him to be able to keep up with Sonic. Sonic is the only one who can save the day, too? Yeah, that's definitely a problem that annoys me in Sonic X. I'll talk about that in the video review. Anyway, thank you very much, Rosie. I appreciate that. How much money do I want from you, Pariah? A monster? Well, I don't know how much that is in that currency when converted over, but thank you very much. I really appreciate that. How much money do I want? As much as you can give me. But don't bankrupt yourself. Give me all of your money. Be irresponsible and give me everything you own. Give me the deed to your house. Is it 50 cents? That's fine. Every time someone makes a donation like that in a different currency, and it's like 1,000, and people are like, oh my god! And I'm like, have you ever heard of currencies? Pariah needs all your worldly possessions? Yes. Mail me your wallet. That works too. But 500, that's a big number. It's true. It is a big number. I mean, if you think about American money, you could also say that for us. $5 could also be written as 500 cents. Holy shit, that's a lot of money. Have I considered bringing a friend to my lives or making a podcast? I was talking with a friend about doing a podcast. Unfortunately, he's too busy these days to do it. I would like to, maybe one day, who knows. As for bringing a friend onto the live streams, I don't know, probably not. My channel is like my thing. I don't know if my friends would want to get involved in that kind of way. Probably not. This is a weird thing. I don't even know if my audience would want that. Because you're here for me, ain't you? You're not here for some random douchebag. Well, I guess I'm some random douchebag. But, I don't know. Maybe one day, but no promises. My friends watch my videos. Some of them. Second channel, baby? Maybe in a second channel. I don't know. Thing is, also, my friends are all busy, so I don't really have... They don't have the time for it. Pariah and Friends is a second channel. It'd be fun to see me argue with someone in real time. I don't know if it would be arguments as much as discussions, and I do have very good, interesting discussions with stuff with my friends, which is why we wanted to do a podcast. But, was not to be. Who knows? Telekinetic Man, can you and Pariah make a podcast? I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to that if we could figure something cool out. When are you gonna get to see my OF? What is that? I don't know what the kids say. Just got a DS and a Wii. Any games I recommend that aren't Sonic related? I mean, you know a lot of the quality Wii and DS games already, right? I'm trying to think of, like, some more obscure, cool stuff on, like, DS or Wii that's worth checking out. Mad World is a cool game on Wii. You know what's a cool game? I haven't played it, but I've always wanted to. God, what's it called? What's the sword game? The sequel Sword game? Red Steel 2? That's it. Red Steel 2 is pretty cool on Wii. I'm trying to think of a really cool DS game that doesn't get the love it deserves. I have friends who thought I'd talk about games and disappear. No, I do not cease to exist when I am not in the form of a content creator, man. Have I ever played Inazuma 11? No, I've heard of it, but I can't put a picture to the name right now. Metroid Prime, do we suggest you play them on Wii remotes? Yeah, the Prime trilogy is best played with Wii Remote Nunchuck. The GameCube controls are weird. Those are the best way to do 2 and 3. I mean, if you can on Switch, the Prime Remaster has, you know, traditional shooter twin-stick controls now. So that's a good way to go if you can get that. Best fantasy soccer ever? Oh, it's a soccer thing. Okay, now I can picture Inazuma 11. No, I've not really watched a whole lot of sports anime stuff. The most sports anime I've watched for some reason are swimming animes. I don't know why, but swimming animes get my attention. Tried watching one anime, I forget what it was called, but it was about like scuba diving. And it wasn't really that interesting, which was a shame. Because they're in swimsuits. Yes, that's exactly why. Slam Dunk is a sports anime classic. There are so many of those fucking basketball animes. It's like a whole genre unto itself. Have I watched Free? I have not watched Free. I've heard it's very good. But I don't know if I care to watch the Hunky Boys show. I'll be honest, I don't think that I am the target demographic of that show. How am I dodging forward? That's a thing in the mod manager that lets you dodge in the direction you're aiming the stick, which is how it should have worked in the game to begin with. You're the target demographic, and yeah, you did watch Free. I have watched some shoujo stuff here and there. I watched Ore Monogatari, which was okay, but there were some things about it that I found very annoying. I watched Kimi ni Toroke back in the day. That's a pretty good show, honestly. I would recommend that one. How do I feel about the sentiment of Sonic fans saying the franchise is no longer for you because it changed to something you don't like? I mean, that's true. Is it not? Is that not literally the definition of it not being for you? And that now it's something you don't like? Generally, things for you are things you like. I watched the Monogatari series. I watched a couple episodes of Bakemonogatari, and then I stopped because I hate Shaft. That studio annoys the hell out of me. I should watch Nana for the rock music and get mad at the asshole character. I have looked at Nana before. Honestly, it doesn't really grab me. What about Madoka? I didn't like Madoka, although it wasn't because of Shaft. They did a fine job on that show. I didn't like Madoka because it's Gen Orobochi, and I don't like a lot of things about his stuff. Sailor Moon will always be that anime. I've never actually watched much Sailor Moon, just like an episode or two here or there when I was younger. Based Urobutcher hater, I do kind of agree with the Urobutcher thing. He writes really cool, interesting stories, and then he horribly fucks them up toward the end. That almost always happens with his shit. It's the only thing from Gen Urobuchi that I really enjoyed was Exiled from Paradise, I think it was called. It's a movie. I liked that one. It wasn't, like, phenomenal, but it was good. I enjoyed it. It had Rie Kugumiya in it, which is the reason I watched it. Madoka's pure art. I just don't like the way it goes at the end with, like, destroying the universe and making a new universe and all that shit. That's like, we have escalated to 99 out of 10. Out of nowhere. It's very rare that series manga ending is good, even in games. People cannot write endings. You know what had a good ending? Spice and Wolf. Spice and Wolf had a fantastic ending, because it was about the fact that the series was ending, and it was really interesting. It actually had a nice little message there at the end of the story about being okay with things ending and moving on. That things don't have to go on and on forever. And then 5 years later, they picked the series back up because the writer wasn't making money on anything else he was working on. Don't spoil, please. Sorry. I mean, it's kind of like a vague background thing, so it's not like too much of a big spoiler, I wouldn't say. What are my thoughts on the MVC fighting collection that's coming out? It's cool. I'm probably not going to get it because I don't care too much about MVC. But for people that are into it, that's pretty hype. People have been wanting MVC 2 back for a long time. Even though you can just play it on Fightcade. But it's nice to have an official way to play it. Who's talking about high school Seha girls? Man, that was a fucking show. That was fun. I mean, it's purely based on the fact that I'm a big Sega fan, but there were some fun interactions with the characters and goofy shit. I liked it. It was fun. Aura and Host Club is funny. I did not like that show. Granted, I watched that many, many, many years ago, but I did not really like it. Yet for some reason, I watched it to completion. Real Nova, I could not disagree with you more on that. That's one of my favorite things about stories, is when they are expressions of something that the writer has to say in the form of a story. And even if it is something basic or whatever, if you can just tell it well, then that can be a nice thing that someone out there is going to appreciate. And I can get behind something that has something to say and is well said. And then you also do find stuff that really does have something profound and meaningful to say, like Outer Wilds. Any reason I don't have mods on? What, in this gameplay? I'm using a shit ton of mods in this gameplay. This is the second best Pariah stream, is it? I've just been sitting here and running my mouth. Favorite absurdist comedy? Absurdist humor doesn't really do it for me that much. I mean, there's a bit of absurdity to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and I fucking love that movie. That movie is hilarious. Remedy will always be your favorite game company because of the themes and messages of its games. I've only played the first Alan Wake. I really want to catch up on my Remedy. Maybe one day before I die. You mostly come to streams to hear me interact with people like you? True, I guess. That's what's fun about streaming, is I can hang out and talk with everybody. I try not to praise Outer Wilds for 5 seconds challenge if possible. I never said I would take on that challenge. Fuck that. Base Bill and Ted Enjoyer still need to watch the sequels. The sequels are not as good. Bogus Journey is very, very good. I personally like Excellent Adventure more. Face the Music was okay for, you know, one of those, like, grandpa sequels where we're in a weird place in entertainment. This is going to be like a note in history that this is the decade of all the big blockbuster movies are filled with elderly people for some reason. Because we gotta milk those nostalgia franchises and bring back all the old people to play their characters again, and it's kind of pathetic, but we're gonna do it because money. Second only to the Blinks 1 stream. Well, we did a couple of those streams, but yes, to be fair, the Blink stream was pretty fucking hilarious. Oh god, that game. People in the future are going to be like, wow, that era sucked? Yes. Or that will become the standard, and people will herald it as the beginning of the new era. The taste will just erode over time. What do I think about the fast food Sonic ads? I've never really seen a Sonic ad before. I've never been to a Sonic. I've never had food from one. It's allegedly a fast food restaurant that exists, but I've never seen one in real life, so I'm not sure if it's real. It might be a hoax. Is Blinks or Blinks 2 any good? Blinks 1 is a cool game, but holy fuck, is it an unpolished piece of shit. Blinks 2 is boring. I wouldn't recommend that at all, but if you have an unbelievably high bullshit tolerance, I would say that Blinks might be an interesting game to check out. What are my thoughts on Gravity Falls? I watched a couple episodes of it. People have, like, sung the praise of that show a million times over, saying it's the best thing ever. I didn't really think it was that great. It was good. It was a good show. I like that it's, like, kids facing, like, David Lynch-esque, weird, kind of spooky shit. But it wasn't that amazing to me. It was okay. I prefer Hilda. I think Hilda does a similar thing, but is more fun, captures that, like, the spirit of a kid, having fun, going on little adventures. I really enjoy Hilda. But Bill Cipher? I don't even know who that is. Is that a character in Gravity Falls? I might not have gotten to them yet. It gets better later on, give it a second chance. Maybe one day, I don't know. Have I watched Steven Universe? No, never watched Steven Universe. Never watched Steven Universe, never watched Adventure Time. You'll pick up Hilda since you really like Gravity Falls? Yeah, it's a similar show. Kind of similar stuff going on. But less, like, trying to be really overtly, like, silly, and more, kind of sweet and cute. Ed and Eddie? Ed and Eddie is fucking top tier. That was my favorite cartoon growing up. I still fucking love Ed and Eddie. That shit is hilarious to this day. I've been really meaning to go back and rewatch Ed, and Eddie, and also watch the movie, because I never watched the movie. And I should, because it's like the proper finale to the show, right? Ed, and Eddie. That shit. So fucking funny. I just watch clips of Ed and Eddie every now and then, and I just laugh my ass off at so much in that show. Do I like Invader Zim? Yeah, Invader Zim is super cool. Does anyone not like Invader Zim? Come on. When's the Ed, and Eddie video game coming out? It came out in the 2000s on GameCube, PS2, and Xbox, and it's not very good, let me tell you. It's not an awful game, but it's not a very good game. I agree with that, Real Nova. I don't really care too much for Hilda's friends. They're kind of weak characters. I do prefer the episodes when it's her on her own or her with her mother. Those are definitely the better ones. Did I watch the Invader Zim movie? I did. That was great. I was hoping that that would lead to, like, a new season of Invader Zim, but I don't know. Have I played Defunct? Yeah, I've recommended it in one of my cool Sonic-like games videos. What about Scooby-Doo? I went on a weird, like, Scooby-Doo marathon last year where I watched a whole bunch of different Scooby-Doo things. You know, honestly, I don't think that Scooby-Doo has ever, like, fully nailed it. I like the premise of Scooby-Doo. I think there's a lot of potential in there, but nothing is, like, fully realized, I think, what Scooby-Doo could be. I think the best Scooby-Doo has ever been was in those old 90s movies. Zombie Island and, the one with the alien and the witch. I think those are the best Scooby-Doo things. Plus, the one with the witches has the Hex Girls in it, which turned everybody onto goth chicks. So I appreciate it for that, too. Very important movie for many people. Not Mystery Incorporated? Okay, I watched all of Mystery Incorporated. Here's the thing about Mystery Incorporated. It's kind of interesting how they, like, play around with things. But it's also, like, kind of bad, and it goes in a really fucking weird-ass direction toward the end. And I stuck with it, but kind of just out of morbid curiosity. Fred is annoying in Mystery Incorporated? Yeah, he's, like, really fucking stupid. Scooby versus Cthulhu, basically. Yeah, it's really weird. Like, they take everything so seriously in that show in a way that's strange. Like, when the monsters are chasing them, it's like an actual, like, action chase scene of them trying to run from a monster that's really gonna kill them, which is very weird for Scooby-Doo when I think of, like, the hallway scenes, you know, where they're running through the doors and shit. But, you know, it's doing its own thing, fine. It's just weird. And then, like, yeah, the plots go in this fucking, like, stupid direction of the old Mystery Incorporated and the super villains and then the Cthulhu monster is just kind of, like, not super good. The live-action movies, the first one is kind of whatever. The second one, I think, is not too bad, honestly. Honestly, I don't think it's that bad. It is not the greatest thing ever, but it's kind of fun, little. They do very accurately, like, recreate the tone and the feel of the cartoons in the movies. You got sick and watched a lot of Flintstones and it sucked, don't marathon sitcoms? I mean, even as a kid, I didn't think this Flintstones was very good. I watched it on, like, Boomerang. Those older cartoons, like Rocky and Bullwinkle, Flintstones, Jetsons, I never really thought any of them were that good. Hot Dog Water was the best character? I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know who's the best character in that show. Everything's so fucking weird. Alright, dudes. I'm gonna call the stream there. It's been fun. Thanks for hanging out. Cool talking with everybody. And, once the stream is over, the Sonic comic video will be going up. It's a doozy. It's a biggin. It's an hour and a half long. Everyone's been asking for it. Well, it's finally here. I hope you enjoy. Bye-bye.